Mike's Bags. Today I'm reviewing the Cutter by Black Flag Cornhole. I reviewed this bag. It's been almost a year now since I reviewed that. Not too long after I did that review, Black Flag made some changes to the bag, and they're pretty substantial changes, enough that it warranted another review, another look at this bag, and I just hadn't had a chance, but now I finally got my hands on a set of the new version of these cutters. So let's go and dive in. Let's break these bags down. I'll tell you all about these bags, and I'll mention the changes that Black Flag has made, so if you've thrown the original ones, you'll know what's different, and you can determine if you prefer the older version or the new version. As always, we'll start with materials on these bags. And the slow side, this is one of the major changes that Black Flag made to these cutters. It's still a hybrid material, but this is actually the same slow side you find on the Viper R, the Swagbags Chaos, AAR Ripper, True Cornhole Aftershock, Killer Bees Armite. There's a long list. I could go on and on with that. It's a very popular hybrid material. It's one of the more popular ones out there. Plays about a 5.5 speed is what I would say on this slow side here. Brand new, it's more like a 6.5. But as it breaks in, it softens up. It kind of fuzzes a little bit. It gets down to about 5.5 speed. Very controllable for still being as hole friendly as it is. So it's wonderful if you like to run bags in the hole. But you can also throw that blocker and play a dirty round here or a dirty game with this material as well. It's a material that plays really well across all board conditions. So if you live in an area where humidity is an issue, or you play in all-day events, all-day tournaments, and board conditions change throughout the day or the time you're playing, this material plays pretty consistent. So it's a bag that you can pull out and throw with confidence, knowing that no matter what the conditions are, it's going to play pretty predictable for you. 5.5 on the slow side here. Fast side. This is still the same fast side I believe they used in the original cutter. This is it's very similar to that Pro Advantage and BG Viking fast side material. It's not quite the same. I think it's a variation of that. It's made by a different company, but it's very similar to that. Plays 7.5 speed. I think Black Flag lists as an 8 speed. So it's somewhere between that 7 and 8 speed. I think to me it kind of, especially when I break it down, when I break it in and soften it up and rough it up, it gets down more like that 7.5 speed for me. It's a fast enough material that you can push through blockers and collect, but it still has control. So it gives you enough confidence that if you have this bag, you can flip it over and throw slick side even on an open board, knowing the bag's not just going to fly off the back. It's extremely hole friendly. So if you're a type of player, if you're maybe for a little bit of a harder thrower, or you're a player that likes to utilize the fast side, not just for pushing and collecting, I think this new cutter here is a great bag for you because you do have that control on the fast side here. Looking at 5.5 slow, 7.5 on the fast side for these bags. Template wise, medium template bag. It's a medium amount of fill in here, but it does have a decent amount of flop. And some of that has to do with the type of fill. So you've got flop here. The fill in this bag is, I think this is one of the things that Black Flag changed as well, is it's mostly a flat disc fill. There may be some mixture of other flat fills. I'm going to call it a blended or a mixed flat fill. In here, I don't feel any round beads that I can tell in this bag whatsoever. And I think the original cutter had some round beads, more of a true mix fill that went in this bag. This bag I didn't mention also has a nice little liner on the inside of the slow side. So it gives it a little bit more of that, a little more slickness to it, which means it really aids. Because one of the knocks on flat fill is hole friendliness. I talk about a lot of times that I don't like flat fills or flat disc fill because it tends to want to hang on the hole. It gets around the hole and it just wants to stop and hang. But when you add a liner on the inside of this material, what you're doing is you're reducing the friction so that fill doesn't get caught up on the backside of this material. Because the backside of the material is pretty rough. It's not smooth, it's pretty rough, and fill will get caught and wedged in it. But when you put a slick, smooth material on the inside of that, what happens is you reduce that friction, that resistance. So even though that flat fill is setting, if it's on a little bit of a decline here, as like that bag's kind of hanging in the hole, it promotes that fill to want to keep sliding and keep moving. And as that fill keeps moving, it keeps bringing more fill with it, and eventually the bag just drips right in. When a bag uses a flat disc fill or mostly flat disc fill, I love when they put a liner in it because I think it really helps. I think the bag needs it, and Black Flag did a great job with that on this bag. And that flat disc fill really gives this bag a ton of forgiveness. If you're a player who doesn't throw a flat bag, and sometimes you get these hybrid materials and they're kicking on you, they're bouncing on you, hard to control, this cutter doesn't do that. There's very little kick, if no kick whatsoever to it. So it lands softly, flattens up, runs straight, and pretty true up the board. So it really kind of covers up for a lot of your mistakes, or if you're not consistent with that flat bag, you can get away throwing it on this cutter. Also, the flop of the bag, I love the flop because it gives that bag that forgiveness around the hole. I talk all the time about that landing zone, that rectangular box that you've got to land your bag in to still put it in the hole. A floppier bag does a better job of grabbing that corner, dipping and grabbing, so you can miss a little further left or right. As long as you get that corner to dip in, it's going to hook that hole and pull the bag and bring that bag right back in for you. So super forgiving around the hole, super forgiving on the landing. These two materials are extremely soft, which gives the bag just a wonderful hand feel. And you've got that flat fill in here. Flat fill is a very fluid fill. It doesn't feel real clunky and chunky. The bag has an incredible hand feel. I love, love, love the hand feel of these cutter bags. These are also ACL stamps. You play in the ACL, you can throw these bags. Let's go and jump into and talk more about playability on these cutters. This is a versatile bag, but when I pull this bag out, or I pull a bag out with the same slow side material, I'm really looking to run bags in the hole. I'm just wanting to put my 4 bags in, get my 12 points, and outlast my opponent. And I think this bag does a phenomenal job because both materials extremely hole friendly. It's going to drip in really well. And again, you have the control on the fast side that if I just want to flip it over, maybe the last bag, to make sure that the bag doesn't stop short, flip it over. I can throw fast side with confidence knowing it's going to slide up there. Or if you're a fast bag thrower, this is a wonderful bag to have because you can take this bag and just throw slick side down all the time and then flip it over to the slow side when you want to put a blocker or need to just put a bag on the board or a back block or something. You can run mostly fast side because it's not that blazing fast on there. So it's definitely a bag for fast bag throwers. But if you're a little bit of a harder thrower, more of a controlled thrower, I do like having a fast side that's controllable. So I love this bag for running bags in the hole. But you do have the versatility with this to throw blockers up there. You've got some control on the slow side. You can throw blockers up on the board when you need to. And it makes a decent blocker. I will say because the bags are floppy and they have flop to them, they do accordion up. Which means if you throw that level 2, level 3 blocker, if you're just trying to clip a corner, what's going to happen is the bags smash into each other. They kind of smash up and it spins the blocker bag out of the way and your push bag will take hole control or slide in the hole. If you're wanting to collect the bags like a level 2, level 3, come more down the middle. Be more intentional about clipping that bag more. Don't go for the corner. Come more to the middle. Clip it and push it up. Enough speed on the fast side to push through. No problem whatsoever. You can even push through multiple bags if you need to. And the bags have the flop. They fold up. They don't clog up in the hole, right? They'll bunch up. They'll fold up and drip in. So you're not going to have to worry about bags clogging or bunching up around the hole. Now, when these bags are up at the hole, like a level 1 or even almost hanging at the hole, that's when I find these bags are great for collecting because when that bag bunches up, it actually lifts that blocker bag up and your push bag goes in and this bag just picks up, spins, and drips and drops that corner in the hole and then it just drips this bag right in. So if you're throwing those really short blockers, or not short, but those blockers up right by the hole, those level 1 blockers or even a level 0 blocker right hanging in the hole, then you have a great job at collecting them and you can get more aggressive at that. That's when I like to take this bag and throw it more on my opponent's side, hanging almost right at the hole, just to be more of an annoyance. Maybe something that they're going to try to do something cute with and they're going to miss, or maybe they try to airmail over, they're going to leave my bag there and then go off the back and then I can come through and I can come down slick side, just clip the corner and take the bags in. Now for shot shaping, because of the forgiveness of the fill and the flop that you have here, it's not the best bag at shot shaping. If you're advanced at the cuts, rolls, and flops, you can do it. I see it all the time. If you have that skill set, you've mastered that skill set, you can cut and roll and flop pretty much any bag out there. But for the average to below average player, it's probably not the best in that ability. I throw a lot of cuts. I feel like I'm pretty good at throwing cut shots. I could throw some subtle cuts this bag, but I couldn't make those really harsh, aggressive cuts. Because of the flop and the forgiveness, it landed much softer than that. But I don't think you need to with this bag. Because of I talked about how you want to push the bag once it's accordion up. Where this bag shines to me on the dirty side of it is the get around. So if you're playing against an opponent who throws a lot of blockers and they're leaving bags up there, what I like to do is just either step out or, just if they leave it on their side or leave you a gap or step out, I want to aim corner to corner, smash into their bag, almost bully their bag out of the way and let my bag come, go by, take hole control, go in. Or I could sneak around if there's enough of a gap, sneak around, just let the corner of the bag grab the hole and pull it back in. So this bag is phenomenal at playing that get around style game. So if you don't have a cut, you don't have a roll, you don't have a flop, but you want a bag to combat those dirty style players, I think a bag like this cutter would be a phenomenal choice for you. I love the new changes that Black Flag made to this bag. Honestly, the original cutter was a good bag. I liked it. I think this bag is a great bag. Like it's just, they took a good bag and made it great. I really, really love the changes of the direction that Black Flag took this bag. Leads me into availability on this. Black Flag has a website. It's blackflagcornhole.com. As always, I'll put a link down in the description for you guys. The bags were $75 for a set. I think they had a set or two on there for $70 as well, depending on the design. So $70, $75 for a set of these. It was $12 shipping. So you're looking at, right around $82 to $87 for a set shipped to you. Phenomenal price at that lower price point of ACL stamped bags. So if you've been thinking about giving them a try at that price point, they're well worth taking the risk on. Again, I think you're going to love them. If you throw these cutters, especially if you throw the original and now you throw this new version, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment down below. Let me know which one you like and why. As always, I thank you so much for your support and I thank you for watching.